leyo recorder umsebenzi too much.
Yeah,
Sebenza too much. So next week it's nkosi yami labantu laba. Oh yeah. Asimbize nabantu laba.
God, man, yo.
Serious, look something. Le running order i-rice.
Yakawan.
Kune radio drama, bengena radio drama this week.
Kunani? Oh, it's unscheduled. Urekodela nini?
It's 10 December.
Manje wangakhulumanga njani?
I-radio drama ikhona yini?
Ithinga ischedule kuqala.
Ikhona yini?
Angazi.
Manje awazi kubani because mina ngibuza wena ukuthi ikhona.
Angazi akekho omnike i-radio drama ukuthi mina ngi-upload.
Faka yakudala. Ngiyadlala. Hey.
Ngizoyifaka ayikhompyutha. Ngizoyifaka nje.
Mara bengekho this week.
Phela mina ngiboni kahle.
Hey, nginenkinga yabe.
Wednesday ne?
Yeah.
Isikhathi bani?
6.
La barekodile la. La barekodile.
$1800s. Kwenzakalani la manje? Hayi. Manje kwenzakalani kwenziwa njani?
Angithi akusiyakho kanti le.
Yo.
Ibuwa ngisho.
Ngibuza in terms of la uzoyifaka yakudala.
Ngiyifake ne?
Ngibuzela lokho.
Yeah, ngizoyifaka. Ungitshele mara ungikhumbuze ngoba manje ngiloko ya-out ngenzeni. Manje mara uyaroba, what if kunama live reads?
Angaze ngaba nawo, ngacela ku-LR ukuthi engaphinde.
Abe khona.
Never again. Yeah. Because yangiconfuse. Yazi sefe kanjani ukuthi siyakhuluma interview, next thing sekune live read. Next thing kumele ngifocus kuma questions, yawo kuyahlangana. Sharp. Yeah, eish. Abantu bafuna ungenze allergic reaction letafula yazi. Serious mvaye ukugula. Yeah.
Ngisho lento abayenze ngayo.
Yeah, into parcel setabenze ngayo. Noma into akaklina ngayo mamzolo oklina ngasola between the two. Yes, kene uyo straight. Good evening to you, my beautiful listener. You're now tuned in to the coolest things to ever happen on a Wednesday afternoon. It's your favorite student show for the students, by the students, right here on Swan FM 93.6. And I go by the name of Lindo Gutlanko, CFPNF Amazing, aka Mlindo the journalist, the only award-winning journalist to Ekavayo. And we're gonna end Onyaga on a bang. You know, man, I always profile students who are doing the most and also students who are interesting. And Fanda Kumpetse, third year administration student, the director of Battleship Kevolooters, but it's gonna explain, which is a non-profit organization and the recipient of the prestigious TUC Honorary Drama Award. If there's one phrase that describes him, as we are moving. And Fadak Mpese Unino, I've actually met him a couple of times. If you usually listen to the show, you've actually heard his voice. here on the show. And I can say, I would say, I was a phansi because ngisho, sometimes I like to profile the most interesting people and a capacity, like we are coming from different backgrounds. We've went through different situations, but masilana, masringa, uyabona man, yazi lo muntu lo, I can actually learn a few things from him, or i-character yakhe it's interesting in a way yokuthi ngakwazi ukuhlala naye and kube ne-story esingaba khona, because sonke sine-story esingasixoxa, mara-ke ezinye iy'tori azibi interesting njenge-story sale out le engihleli nayo lana. Otherwise wathi yamkrend
ngimnandi wamuvi.
Ngikrendi. So before size siye kude nayo, who's Nino on a personal level? How will you describe yourself outside ama-titles lawo kade ngiwasho?
Yes, I would say Nino is someone who is passionate about liberating the oppressed. When you see Nino, you just see someone who walks like a revolution, who is a revolution, who speaks an age that is olden, not now. Yeah. So that is Nino. Outside of the titles of NPOs and the honorary of drama and everything. So Nino is someone who is definitely for the people, by the people.
Oh
yes, I am from Mpumalanga, Kwaggafontein A, Kwandebele. Yes, I grew up there, I did my school there and everything there. But as a student, you all know, Vele, we are, of course, oppressed people. So our decisions were always limited. Even the way we think, about things in our neighborhoods. I call it an oppressive. We are oppressed in our own neighborhoods and exploited in our neighborhoods. So we are the products of those exploited. That's what I would say.
Speaking of being oppressed in your own neighborhood, yes. So you're from Mpumalanga, and right now we're in PTA.
For sure.
What made you take that risk? Yogusi, I don't want to say you were tired of where you're from, because you can never be tired of where you're from. So what made you take that risk? Yogusi, I want to escape this situation, or I want to move out and go make a name for myself outside from the township or the castle that I grew up from.
Yes. Actually, what really made me to persuade moving out of the neighborhood that I was staying, Ekasi, was I remember I had come up with an organization called High Five. Then it grew to be Battleship Government. That was an organization that I created. I think I created it on grade 11. That organization was aimed at educating young people in the neighborhood about our history, especially where we come from and how we are exploited and how economically we are not emancipated, especially about our schools, our school systems, the way we eat, the feeding scheme. I'm not saying there's something wrong with the feeding scheme, but I don't think you can give the future that type of food. You know what I mean? And then the way the staff is treated, Abu Mamzo, the way Bapeganga corner, the hygiene, and I believe Abu Mamzo, they are not paid equally and all of that. So all of that now gave me the gesture to say what, you know what, how can I create this organization outside of the neighborhood? Because in the neighborhood I didn't have a lot of support. A lot of people, like I said, it's an oppressive, so people think the same way. If you come with a different way, they shut you down. So and then as I was doing grade 12, my friend told me about applying to university, and then I asked him, what do you need in order to apply for university? Because they talked about NSFAS. He said a bachelor. Then I said, okay, how about I go to university to go learn about how to create a school, so that when I go to university, I learn about how the university runs, and then I can create this school called Battleship Kevolooters non-profit organization. So that's what led me outside of the hood to create this non-profit organization that exists now in the aims of helping people, especially our people from our continent, in how that we can overpower ourselves through the exploitation of white monopoly. So that's what drove me. I didn't go out of the hood because I wanted to pursue a career. No, I went out of the hood to create a school so that I could educate our people.
And then what does the organization do?
Yes, Battleship, we do community engagements.
Yeah.
We go to communities like last year we went to we were here at Tshwane Region 3. That's where we did our moving breakfast.
Yeah,
This is where we give people that stay in the streets food, people that are homeless food. We went to parks, we gave them food, but not just food. We gave them education, because we believe when we give them food, then we also told them about how the system is keeping them homeless, because we believe that they are not homeless because they want to be homeless. The system is making them homeless so that when they become homeless, there's this exploitative government associations that are owned by the state that comes welfare now poured into them. And when the welfare poured into them, there's corruption, the money is taken away. It does not go to directive to the shelters that have to accommodate these people. And the shelters themselves are not conducive for them to stay in shelters. They don't allow our brothers, some of them, they don't allow our brothers to look for work. Some of them, they keep them in those shelters. It's like a prison. So when we gave them food, we don't want to give them food and walk away. We gave them food. First, we educated them through the education. We gave them food. Homeless people who really need education instead of food. And then we also went to schools. In schools, we facilitate history. We tackle this English literature book called Sophia Town. We also believe that in high school, a lot of our young people, especially 2000s, they don't know our history of how we were excluded from the whole platform of education and of the Group Act, and how we were separated, how people were taken from Atteridgeville, Mamelodi, how people were taken to Hammanskraal, how people were bombarded in Maupane, how they created what we call is Soshanguve, Shangane, Nguni, and Venda, how they made us fight one another. This is all in the Sophia Town. But in the Sophia Town, it's just that the way they teach it, they teach it in a way that learners get bored. So when we bring drama, we train them on how to act, because the play is a drama play. So we teach them how to act, and then now when they know how to act the play, they understand the play, they understand the concept. Now they understand this is what our grandmothers and fathers were fighting for. Then what they do with the play, they teach their own grade 11s. So grade 11s get to pass the English literature, because if you look at the stats, they are failing it. Why are they failing it? They don't understand it. And this is one of the reasons why young people don't join politics, because they don't know the history, they don't know why we're fighting for. So yeah.
Yeah, man, you're still tuned in to the coolest things to ever happen on a Wednesday afternoon. It's your favorite student show for the students, by the students. And as you can hear, man, the conversation is getting really, really interesting. Right about now, let's go to a very, very quick break. We're going to be back after this. Good evening to you, my beautiful listener. Starting in the wheel, using a CV. So she should spread. And just like that, man, we're back, and you're still tuned in to the coolest things to ever happen on a Wednesday afternoon. It's your favorite student show for the students, by the students, right here on Tshwane FM 3.6. And Panda Kumplomine Outsiami NNINO, who's a third-year administration student. He also runs an NPO, also does the drama, and hey, shying. Yeah, born at the other day. I think it was the GPV symposium.
Yeah. Symposium.
I think it was the GPV symposium. Yeah, man. So you mentioned something very interesting before we went on an ad break. In Kira, we see topic too much, because there's a lot I want us to talk about. But you mentioned how you guys went to these homeless shelters. You donated or you helped out in any way you could.
For sure.
Me, man, I just wanna pick your mind with what you think. Don't you think these companies who we buy from or products that we use. For an example, companies like, I don't want to mention
For
any
sure,
names,
for sure.
because advertising for free. But there are certain companies where we buy our groceries from. There are certain companies who advertise using black people. There are certain companies who know that their target market is black people,
Sure.
and all they do is take and never give back in a form of donations, in a form of helping out kids to go to school, in a form of even supplying learners with feeding schemes.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you think, because right now, I want to know what do you think about this, and do you think it is okay for us within Amakas who are struggling to try and help our people, or those companies should also play a role, because already they are taking from us financially?
For sure.
So do you think they should play a role in giving back, whether it's in a form of donations, in a form of scholarships, bursaries, even in a form of helping out in feeding schemes, because we're already buying groceries from them?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, we believe that these are companies that are established. These are private companies.
Yeah.
When we say private companies, these are private companies that are owned by foreign, should I say, foreign investors that belong outside of our continent. So the aim is for agricultural purposes and is for capitalism purposes. It's for profit. So when these companies are now established, first of all, they start to own our land, and then when they own our land, they own our agriculture, and then when they own our agriculture, they own our human resource, they own the labor. As much as they employ our people, there is a legislation that now allows such companies to give back to the community as much as they take from the community. Now, this is exactly what happens. When such funds are allocated for companies to give back to the community in a form of establishing or empowering the communities that they operate in, these are funds that now, when they have to go to the community, they're not distributed fairly. This is where corruption comes in now. Because the very same people that you are distributing to, perhaps you might say you're distributing to our councillor, you're giving him 50,000 to run a program of soccer in the school, build a soccer stadium. But when our mayor or our councillor receives that money, even our mayor is at a state whereby they are not rich enough not to do the right thing. Actually, they are poor enough not to do the right thing. So actually, they are poor enough to build a stadium using the exact amount. So what they do is that they take half of the money to establish themselves and then take the rest of the money to build an unsustained project. Now, what is the main reason of that? Because we are saying these companies must not focus on giving our people food and giving our people clothes and giving them all of that. We say these companies should focus on the educational sector. In the educational sector, they should be pouring out equipment, they should be pouring out resources, they should be pouring out information that will enable these learners to have skills. You have learners who come out of grade 10 who can create a jockey. I'm from grade 12, I can't create a jockey, but what if I couldn't afford a jockey? Could I create it? Could I create a shoe? Could I create a toothbrush? Can I make a rama, the one that I use every day without buying? Can I produce something in order for myself to survive instead of relying on that a company? These are now certain finances that should be drawn to the schools of the community. The schools of the community need to be empowered. You can go even now in the townships. Alexandra, Mamelodi, Mpumalanga, go Witbank. The very same schools in the high schools, these are schools that they don't have infrastructure. You are preparing 2000's for the fifth era of the technology, but your very same environment does not speak it. Our children in school still carry books, while they could easily use like a USB and have like a thingy over there. A tablet. Transportation. Do you know that our young children in school still walk far from school? I walked far from school.
I used to.
And it gets worse when it's raining. That's painful. How Puma Konala Pretoria West, when you see this school here next to Pretoria West, you see them, you see those kids, some of them have transport, some of them don't. They walk through those rainy, their shoes and everything. That tells you that we need to only not to take care of the university structure. The same resources that are poured out into the university, they should be poured out to the learners at school. We are preparing them for the life in university. You understand what I'm saying? Learners at school should have transportation to go to school. If you live 3 houses from school, you can walk to school. If you live 4 houses, transportation.
Yeah.
It's important. It's important even for their level of communication and the level of adjusting to what's happening into the community. And the level of food. We believe the level of food should be actually prioritized, because people that are sick in the hospital, of a private hospital, they eat more healthy food than our people probably in public school over there. You understand? Because you look at the food of the private hospital, they want to keep that man or woman healthy. But what do we do with our children, with the food that they are eating? Nobody wants to talk about where the company comes from. Nobody wants to talk about why our kids can't create their own agriculture. Our kids can't plant a potato. You know that. And you have a grade 12. That's dangerous. And you are pouring people into working to these companies, and when they work into these companies, it's the same exploitation of capitalism, where workers will be degraded, where workers will never be paid fairly, where workers will never be able to support themselves and their families fully. And the community of themselves, where workers will not have the correct time with their families. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. So to actually answer that is that these companies should invest on education. Giving people food is not going to work. That's what we did in our moving breakfast. We gave them food, then more education. Because more education, it can also help them to sustain, to get the food for themselves. Because we can't keep feeding on the dog. Because you can't feed it anymore, it eats you. So you have to educate the dog to be able to survive on its own. We're not saying human beings are dogs, but we're saying they should be taught to survive on their own.
Enough about politics.
Enough about politics.
Enough about politics. I think we're done about politics. So, man, you also do drama.
Yes, drama.
Also into the arts. What actually made you to start doing Leo to Leo? Did you just wake up one day and you were like, I think you're going to get a PS.
No, it actually started with my brother. I have a brother, Quincy. I have a brother. My other brother is Quincy. When I came back, I was actually playing soccer. When I came back from the academy at Witbank, I came back from my neighborhood, Kwagafontein, and then my brother Quincy was on about cameras. So one caster, so please be part of this movie. Then I was acting on all of that, and I started taking it deliberately serious. But then I had a goal, because I had a goal to educate people, remember? I wanted to educate people about the history. So when I thought about acting, I was like, okay, how about I act now in the sense that I educate people. Then that's when I went to university as well, because I went to university because I want to establish this school. I go as well with these acting skills. When I get there, university, I don't know extra curriculum, so I don't entertain it. But I do events. Then I do a movie about drugs. And then one moment I go to the South African State Theatre. I meet this beautiful school called Youth in Trust, directed by Nelson Babaholo Mukwena. So now it's theatre, so I get taught theatre. Now, when I get taught theatre, I get to discover that theatre is a way of teaching people. I could actually be there on stage and teach people, instead of entertaining them about love and funerals and all of that. I could just educate them about history. So when now I started pursuing theatre now, I pursued it in a way that let me research about history, research about the historical things that happened, and create performances whereby I can go to people instead of going as an original and be like, yo, they took our land. Let me just make a whole show so that they could understand where we come from, because a play helps you because it has like a climax. It has the beginning and the climax, then the end. So it helped me to defend the story. So what pushed me to drama was that I wanted to educate people about politics and history. That's why. Even my theatre plays, they are strictly political. Even the one you asked about, GBV, is strictly political. It says that the state is responsible for GBV if there's anything else, because of democracy. Because democracy is not a system that says women should be powerful. It's a system that degrades women. So I was punching at that, educating people that fathers were the ones who were made to distance themselves from women. And then now they are pushing an agenda to make women fight against men. That's an agenda of democracy. If you study the history of democracy, you'll understand that even it was decided by men, created by men. Even when the National Party, the Botha, the one that oppressed us, there were least women in the parliament because of the system. It was not about race. Democracy is about system. Even if you're white or black, you're still going to discriminate women because the system itself does not believe in women. So that's why I did drama, to educate people about politics and history. So everything's aligned to politics.
That sounds amazing, man. You're still tuned in to Boaliro Narrations on FM 93.6. Right up at now, we're gonna go to a very, very quick break, and when we come back, so we're and then so we're with the gospel with Umurwa Masange. Right up at now, let's go to a quick break. We're gonna be back after this.
I won't lie, guys. Everything I say is political, ne? Everything I say is political. I won't lie, I try, but everything is political. Everything is political. It's what happened now. Everything is political. That's why I just dream my own line.
Yeah, save so it's solo science or
Solo?
yeah.
Yeah, we can leave a solo.
Because in 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
Yeah, for it.
Okay, make a solo 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And probably we're going to talk about the solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so speed like Yoda. It's a 3, 2, 1. And just like that, man, we're back in Njengomhlane. You're still tuned in to Boaliro Narrations on FM 93.6. I'm still hanging out with my main man, NNINO. He does everything. On a non-profit organization, award winner, student. Speaking of the award, bro, how was it? Like being recognized for your acting skills?
Hey, that was amazing because it's been a long time coming. I think it's one of my second awards that I got, especially from the highest institution. So it was amazing, and it was also justifying that extracurriculum, guys. Students, extracurricular. See, when you come here in university, you come here, you only focus on class only. So it is going to work, but it's not going to work better. You see?
Yeah, I've had that conversation with a few of my friends.
For sure.
If I knew now what I knew first year, I'd be probably playing cricket or tennis or whatever. Whatever. But I didn't have the information. I just thought I was here to study, get my diploma, get a job, and then I leave. Because there's more.
There's more to that.
Yeah.
And I also believe students, it also now becomes our duty, because some will say, the university doesn't spend a lot of money on marketing, extracurricular, blah, blah, blah. Yes, well. So what must happen? What must happen is that now, you must now be able to, because when you are at varsity, it's important for you to know people. Because even in the job sector, when you're going to know people, it's much better for you to get a job if at least you know someone from the panel. At least if they know what you can do. But if you are no one and they don't know your skill, they must not know you about gossip. Blah, 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 blah. No, they must know about your skill. This one is a radio presenter. No, this one can play soccer. No, this one is a rugby player. No, this one is a cameraman. These are opportunities that the university allows you to that. So that's the economy that you are building yourself for. So I would encourage, with that honoring, that go get your credentials at extracurricular activities. You pay for that. A lot of money. You need to be in there. And we're moving.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And then there's a solo performance. Solo Shandi Sinyana. Yeah, without wasting any time, you can take it away, Maseuredi. What's the name of the performance first?
Oh yes, the name of the performance is called Voice of a Painter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All over to you.
For sure. Daddy, 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 I'm a painter. I canvas all my imaginations. Daddy, Daddy, come see my work, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. He said, Daddy. He said, Daddy. Feeling proud as father to son, all his imaginations were tall as all. All I can be is a father to my son. I'm a prisoner who failed to be a father to his son. Yellow prisoner, get out of the cell, get out of the cell. Your parole has ended. Danki wateni, danki wateni, ke o bona ngwanaka. Fathers are like feathers, soft in the inside, weak in the outside. I'm outside, son, I'm outside. Daddy broke out of prison just to see you grow. I'm a criminal, son. A criminal who stole your father time away. Away with these walls. They send me away when I sold to think you are mine. How, son? How could a father ever pay back the times I lost with you? You, your mother, she lost love for me and gained hate for you. Now me against them against me. They are me, fighting me, killing me, son. Just in case I never get to see you. Your father loved to see you grow as he grew. Dear son, I loved you as a painter.
Yeah, ne. So what inspired the play before we quickly wrap it up?
Yes, what inspired the play was Fatherless Fathers.
Yeah.
Yes. It was the happening. I say it political.
Yeah, it was the fatherless fathers.
Yes. It was about the poem was about the fatherless fathers.
Yeah.
Fatherless fathers who bear sons that are going to be fatherless sons and fatherless fathers.
Yeah.
So this is a cycle generation that the system, apparently the capitalist system, is responsible for, because of the degradation of men. When men are separated from their families, when a man is being separated from his family, the child that they are growing with now gets to grow different. Because in order for a boy child to understand how to treat a woman, they see that through their father.
Yeah.
In order for a boy child to understand how a woman should treat a man, they see that through their mother. Same applies with the daughter. When the daughter sees how the mother treats the father, the daughter learns. When the daughter sees how the father treats the mother, the daughter learns. So this is a complex culture that should be brought upon. Now when one is missing, now it becomes a barrier whereby one is raised with trauma, where one is raised with reasoning, where one is raised with loneliness, where one is raised with the belief that their father never loved them. Worst part, their father never even wanted them to be in this world. Now this is an anger that grows and gets to form part as one of the reasons of GPV, as one of the reasons of mental health, as one of the reasons why societies are created, as one of the reasons that our mothers today suffer with the burdens of taking care of the family alone. It's not a joke, it's not supposed to be funny, but it's a reality. When our men get to raise their children alone, it's a crime. It's a crime also for women to raise their children alone. This is a responsibility bared by two human beings and in the benefit of the child, because the child is for the society. When you grow the child well, the child gets to bear the fruits into the society. So the reason there's no fathers, it becomes another reason for another child not to have a father, right? But other children get to have a vice versa. When they didn't have a father, they want to have the same elements of a father to their children. But what happens is that because they never had an experience of a father, it means they're not going to be they might not be the better father to their first child to be a father of, because they have no experience of what fatherhood is. It was never around them, it was never groomed around them. So if a father is not, or a mother is not in the household, you are raising a child that is going to fit in a society that will abuse him or her because of the conditions that are not the same. You understand? So you're basically abusing even the very same child who has been raised by a mother and a father. You are abusing the very same child, because when they combine with the child that has been raised with none of those, when they combine, they are the same, and then they get to fight. When they get to fight, you get to create what you call a group of people who have mothers, group of people who have fathers, group of people who have both parents. That's a dangerous, and it runs through our schools and universities, whereby those ones who don't have fathers, they are put one side. Those who have mothers one side, those who have both two sides. Now it's like a classical capitalist and middle class system, whereby these ones are superior than these ones are superior than these ones, and in the community they don't create an economy that allows both of them to exist.
Then it's the same cycle.
It's the same cycle all over again.
Fathers.
How do we solve it? Education. Through our educational system, through grade R. Grade R is where we fundamentally educate our children about equality, about seeing that a person is not yellow, a person is not white, a person is not blue, a person is not umamaga ban. Nah, it starts from there. From education, we take it from a grade R all the way to high school. When they come to university, they understand how we should treat our economy and how we should take care of our nature. So that's what made a Voice of a Painter to be there. And it also addresses the issue of prison, correctional services, that our brothers and sisters in the correctional services should be treated in a way that when they come back into the society, they come back to work for the society. They should not be treated like monsters. We do not believe that people in the correctional service, or our brothers and sisters, should not be given food, should not be given education, should not be given even equal rights. We say they should be treated equally, because we are now bringing back these people into our society. If we treat them like zombies, when they come back here, they're going to see us as zombies, and we are the enemy now. They kill us. So we have to put them in a way that they get to work better for us, and it's through proper education, proper food. Because if we feed them the wrong food, they come back outside, they start acting different, because food goes a long way. Thank you, my brother.
Rehab. If they say prison is a rehabilitation, you have to save that people's
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. So by this time, where I have to love and leave you. Any last words, fast, before C Valley?
Young people who know that we are moving, especially 2000's.
Look, man, from me, the next time you hear this voice, I bet you it's going to be in January. And I'm going to be coming back with a bang, man. So you better be sure what's the next year. You tune in on Ibuali Runa, and you tune in on the Parliament every Friday. From me, have amazing, aka Mlinda the journalist, the only award-winning journalist you know. Catch me January. And remember, if you want to engage in any illegal activities, oyez mkhwanazi.